All right. Well, I mean, that's very true in terms of waiting for the discovery. What we can talk about is just what's happening as the drama, as it is in this case, unfolds, just to find out. Of course, a few curious things, as Rufai already highlighted, that if the university has stated categorically that the president did attend Chicago State University in 1979, a certificate was issued to him, then it shouldn't be a problem. I think what makes it more curious is the attempt, and very determined attempt, of the president's lawyers and camp to stop the release of his certificate. And so you want to understand the reason why this is the case, why they are adamant that they shouldn't, that the CSU shouldn't release the certificate of the president, which he, authentically obtained in 1979. These are the questions that we begin to ask. And of course, the revelation. So perhaps from their camp, let his certificate be out there. Let's put an end to what is now becoming a national embarrassment, whereby the U.S. is deliberating, our U.S. court is deliberating whether to release the certificate of the president of a sovereign nation who was elected. I mean, it's really, aside from the election side of things and the morality of things, it's the huge embarrassment it's causing to our nation, whereby we are contending as to whether the president submitted a certificate or attended an institution in a United States college. It's really quite embarrassing, to say the least. And so we hope that this will be put to rest. And it's very simple. CSU release the certificate, let Nigerians or Mr. Atiku Abubakar be able to cite what has already been established by the university and on media platforms like CBS. Let it be established and let this matter be put to rest, and the president continue with the business of governance. He has already been established as president at the petitions court, first leg of the petitions court. And now the Labour Party and Mr. Peter Obi and Mr. Atiku Abubakar and the PDP are challenging the outcome of that. So from the status of the president, this is what happened. He went to the university. It should be a very simple matter, in quote. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of harm it would cause if they're allowed to release these results. So from my view, it's just the national embarrassment it's causing to the nation. The fact that the exalted and elevated position of president is now put under scrutiny by a judge abroad, and we're arguing about certificates. And it's just really embarrassing. Let's end this matter and move on. So let's see whether, if he indeed did not perjure, then let him release his certificate. But what was also very critical to this is that in the event that a certificate that wasn't, that he lied about his certificate, then the Constitution is clear about the fact that he cannot be elected as president if he presented false documents as part of his, his qualifications to being president. That is very clear. So that's why it is important to find out and get to the bottom of this matter, not just for the benefit of the parties involved in terms of the opposition party, but the benefit of Nigeria and the integrity of the seat of the president. Very important.
Nigeria's President Tinubu files emergency appeal to block Chicago University from releasing records. Well, thank you very much for joining us again. This is Serious Matters here at ONEP TV. Please do share videos with others, drop a comment, make them simple and simple. Credit to People's Gazette on this one for making this available to us. Bola Tinubu files emergency appeal to block Chicago State University from releasing its records, testifying under oath. Well, you recall that yesterday, a high court in Illinois, Chicago, actually, gave an order to the Chicago State University to release, the documents of the president of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, to the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the February 25th presidential election, Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, having, fulfilled every request or every requirement, for what it is needed for, and why it should be released. However, Bola Tinubu, in a recent development, as we are making available now, has filed an emergency appeal to block Chicago State University from releasing record as made available to us by the People's Gazette, and continuously worries and not really worries anyway, but then we've continued to wonder. I think it's more of wondering why this back and forth about, there's this saying that you should come out clean. The Yorubas has a saying, "One is on larin, in other words, you walk straight, everybody walks straight, except there's an issue with a part of the body and all of that. But then when it comes to businesses, then you find somebody saying, oh, you see, I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. You see, this thing I want to sell to you, I actually bought it for XYZ amount, and that's why I'm selling it at so amount. And I'm telling you this, I'm telling you the gospel truth. I'm telling you the gospel truth. Whereas most of the time, you're actually telling a lie. Sometimes you even say that, oh, we actually sold this thing with just $1. I just sold it with $1 extra as my own gain on this particular one. But then that's what that means in Yoruba, in the Yoruba parlance, that why do we need to start bending if you are actually real about what? And that's why you see, somebody once told me, he said, people who are abroad, we find it much easier making heaven than people who are in places like Nigeria, where, somebody has to tell lies to do business. You understand? We get to the market, the mama says my yam is 2,000 naira, and then you say, why can't you sell for me? Because that's what they're actually saying. Why don't you sell for me for 1,500 naira? And then he says, no. Actually bought this yam for 1,700, and I transported it with 100 naira, and of course I should make a gain of at least 200 naira on it, and that's why I'm saying she has to explain and explain. Whereas in civilized world, you just go into the supermarket, you see the price tag there, you just pick. If you don't want, you don't pick it, you don't go there, and you just go and pay for what you have picked. Well, let's go back to business, where we started from anyway. President Bola Tinubu had filed an emergency application seeking a review of the judgment that ordered the release of his academic records to Atiku Abubakar. We have continued to wonder why is Mr. President blocking? Why is he coming up with all this? It makes, I think it creates more suspicions. You understand? I think it creates more suspicion. If we are real and we are factual about what we are doing, why don't I? Because you see, like I would always say, once you're a public figure, you're a public figure. Everything about you becomes public. You go to the loo, public. You use the wherever you get on the plane, you are public. Whatever you do, you are public. So there's no way people will not, poke their nose into affairs that even concern even if it's possible. People want to know when you enter the other room with madam. That's the point. That's because you're a public figure. You understand? So once you're a public figure, and like I said, I said that when I celebrated my 40th birthday, some people might just look at that and say, so this boy is not more than 40. Oh, this boy is just clocking 40. Oh, this and that. Oh, that and this. And I said, look, there is no time people will not know certain people's age. There are some people whose age might be unknown for life, but a lot of time, people who are public figures, people who do things in the public domain, let me put it that way, so because it's not everybody that knows you or knows me, so that's the point. So, but then people who do things in the public domain, we always, they are everything about them will be known by the public, and so I see no reason why Mr. President is blocking, the release of his document if it's factual and it's real and it's true. I mean, about it all. Well, Judge Jeffrey Gilbert of the United States District Court had on September 19th ordered Chicago State University to release Mr. Tinubu's record to his Nigeria political opponent as part of an ongoing election challenge proceeding in Nigeria. The judge said the record must be turned over to Mr. Abubakar on September 21st. He also said school administrators must submit themselves to certify all records, all released records under oath. That's to say that so it's not an issue where the records will get to Nigeria or to the persons that they were supposed to get to, and then they find out that a clerk was supposed to, or there was a typographical error and this and that, just like there were claims in recent times that where you see female is actually a typographical error and all of that. And so it's supposed to be released under oath. But as the school started preparing to release the files, Mr. Tinubu entered an emergency application in the district asking a senior judge to review Mr. Gilbert's September 19th order and delay execution until at least September 25th. Is there any compromise whatsoever? We'll get to know. It's all in the public domain. We will update you as they unfold. I mean, maybe I should take I should read what you are seeing on your screen. I mean, it might be moving a bit very fast, but don't worry. In the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois Eastern Division, in rare application of Atiku Abubakar for an order directing discovery from Chicago State University pursuant to 28 USC 1782, numbers 23 CV 5099. And so it's headed by emergency motion to delay disposition ruling issued by the magistrate. Intervener Bola A. Tinubu requests that the court delay the magistrate judge self-effectuating order directing Chicago State University to comply with the applicant's subpoena, starting September 21st, 2023, because as the 9th and 10th Circuit have concluded, or a ruling under 28 USC 1782 is akin to a disposition motion, and the magistrate may only report and recommend to the district judge the magistrate issued what purports to be a final order on September 19th, requiring immediate compliance starting on September 21st. Intervenor asked the court to enter an immediate order delaying the effect of the magistrate's order, at least until Monday, September 25th, 2023. We're wondering why the delay, why must they, hold until that point? So he said, so the court may fully consider both the scope of the magistrate's authority to issue the order without review and the issue of whether the magistrate's order was a correct application of the law to the fact presented in support of this motion. Intervenor states as follows. But then let's leave the rest alone and, of course, hold on and see how things pan out. Everybody has the right. Once a judgment is given, people have the right to appeal and all of that, especially when most of the time there are options of appeal. So it's okay. I think, like somebody said, the law is still in favor of President Bola Tinubu. Hopefully this will make Atiku visit US so he can continue the case that indicted one of his wives, and of course, and so that was a comment by somebody anyway. Okay, please, this is Serious Matters on the TV. Please do share our videos with others, drop a comment, make them simple and simple. Thank you very much for watching. We appreciate you.